Hey everybody, it's Erin Reed, and I got in this really cool book. So I was contacted to see if I would review the book and learn how to do origami. Now, I have learned some very basics of origami, and basics I mean like learning some folding and things like that. It just over the years, there's been little things that I have learned, and I thought, well, I've always wanted to learn a little bit more, and let's try it. So I dug into the book. And it's got some pretty basic stuff. So in the book, it's got some very basic, learn how to do a tent fold or a valley fold. They call it mountain or valley fold. There's different names for it, what a kite base is. So there's different bases, and they take you through how to do a lot of these fun bases in here. It also takes you through the very, very beginning, and it breaks it down into like basic folds. It goes into like beginner, easy, intermediate, challenge, and difficult. And I did a little bit of all of them. I just kind of played around a little bit. And then there's pictures of all of them, because you may be like, oh, well, what's a Christmas tree? Or, oh, what's a parakeet? And so it gives you a little picture. It's not in color, but it doesn't take away from what you might think the project should be. So black and white's fine. It definitely gets the point across. And then it kind of, when you make it for yourself, you're like, ooh, it's in color. It's kind of cool. But color's always cool. There's also some little symbols. It talks about like what the arrows mean and like what this little thing actually is into inflate. Like this little guy I had to inflate. That's the tulip, or that you're cutting something, or you need to look or rotate or whatever. So there's some basic symbols that it takes you through. And so we're going to do one together. This is what's called a water bomb base. So we're going to do it in this color. I will say, and I'm going to move the book off to the side so you guys can see what I'm doing here, that having a piece of paper that's got two different colors on it is kind of handy. Now, I am not using traditional origami paper. I am using what's called the Renia foiled paper, just because I thought the shiny would look really pretty, and it does hold its creases really well, and it works fantastic. I mean, I made quite a few, and I'll show you more in depth. The first one I did as a practice for one of the basic folds. I did what's called the rabbit ear fold. It's right here. So it takes you step by step how to do it. And it was actually very simple. I mean, it does take you step by step. It looks like it's got a lot of detail, but it's because they're not skimping on anything, which I think is pretty cool. So we're going to do the water bomb base together. And it says the darker color is supposed to be the color, and then the white would be the white. But since I have gold, I'm treating the gold as my other color. I kind of put the book where you guys can see where I'm at. So I'm right here. I know you really can't see the instructions super well, but it's just the fact that you have the book open and then you're following along and doing the project tells that you can easily do it. Then it says to open it, and it says start with a square paper, colored side up, fold the paper in half, crease it well, and then fold it. Then it says fold the paper in half vertically. Now I did turn mine because I find it easier to fold going vertically, but that's just because I've been doing it for a little while. And then it says unfold it. And then it gives you a little symbol. Flip it over. I mean, it's pretty basic. Then it says fold the paper diagonally. I mean, and it shows you a picture, and then it says, crease really well. So fold diagonally. I will say with origami that the better that your lines are straight, meaning that you're not folding. I'm not going to do this. Well, so I'm here, and it says fold the paper in half. So if you don't fold like this, or you don't fold, you got to fold pretty perfect in origami. Otherwise, it doesn't quite make sense. So then you fold this way. So now I've got that. And then it says crease well, unfold it. All right, so we're still on the light side. Then it says follow the existing creases, bring the left and right sides as well as the top edge toward the bottom. That's what I'm doing. Take left and right sides and then top edge towards the bottom. A little picture right here, and you just kind of keep following. And boom, that's the completed water bomb. And then from here, there's actually a whole bunch of, there was a couple of these where that was the beginnings of how to do that. So with the crow, this is how you do, there's a special name for it, square base. So there's all these basic ones that you tend to repeat over and over again as you're going through, and they get more complicated as you get further into the book. So this was the basic water bomb base, which I thought was kind of fun. And then there's all different things that you can do with this. So same with what this one, this was like the rabbit ear, just to teach you how to do that concept. All right, so I was pulling another one that I wanted to do. I said we did the rabbit ear. I had done that one previously. I had also done the swan previously, so this is my swan. It's kind of cool, and it does. It looks like it's kind of cool, and it does. It looks like what it is. So you can see the colors that I have. I think I messed up and I did the reverse color by accident. So that's why my this should have been all purple with a hint of gold, but I didn't pay attention to the coloring. That was my fault. But there's all kinds of fun stuff. There's like cicadas and things. So butterfly, that was another one that I had done. Isn't that cool? Butterfly. Another one I had done. I've dog-eared all the ones I had done. Oh, I wanted to do this one, the crane, but we're going to come back to that in a minute. There was one other one I wanted to do first. I also did the tulips. That's what this one is. Now mine, because it's my first try doing some of these really difficult ones, they're not perfect, but it definitely looks like the picture. And I did it with the red and I screwed up, and again I did the wrong color. I wasn't paying attention. I just opened up the paper. And then I jumped to the back and tried a really hard one. And it's a star box. That's kind of cool. So the first one I'm going to do with you guys is the Christmas tree, just so we can all practice and have some fun. Now it says to do the white side. I'm not doing typical Christmas colors. I'm using violet, so whatever. So it says first I'm going to fold this in diagonally. So I'm going to fold diagonally, and this is in one of the beginner ones. So there we go. And I didn't cut my paper super good, and that might be why I'm off a tiny bit, but let me see if I can line this up a little better. I think I just didn't cut my paper perfectly, but that should still work. All right, so fold it in half and then unfold it. And then it says, and so this is where the pictures come in really handy. And then it says to fold this way. And if you're like, okay, well, what do you mean by folding it? The next picture shows you, oh, well, that's what you mean by folding it. It gets a little more complicated. So fold it again, right like that. And then it says also fold it again. So it shows you the picture of what to do. So just following basically the instructions of what it says to do. Fold it again. And then it says flip it over. Okie dokie. So I'm going to flip it over, and it says to fold this way. And you can see that the colors, so this is where having two different colors, if you had the same color, it'd be hard to follow, because in the picture it shows this is all a color, but then this little section is different color. Well, perfect. That's the white side, which my gold is my white. And then it says to repeat the same thing on this side. Lots of little creasing going on here. So far, so good. My little origami is working. Then it says to flip it over again. And then this time, fold the paper in half horizontally along the dotted line. So it looks like it's right smack in half. Just like that. Okay. And now my picture looks just like this. Now it says fold the top flap down along the dotted line. So you have to do your best about where you feel the dotted line is. And be careful not to screw up your paper. And I sometimes like to flip over to make sure that, okay, well, how much of the paper color should I really be seeing? And there's just a hint of it. So sometimes I'll jump ahead and kind of look to see where the paper is before I, kind of delve into that next page. Then it says turn the paper back over, and then it says the completed Christmas tree. So I need to make that's making that little stump down there. So this kind of folds back up. Right there, and then I can look, and does it look like a little Christmas tree? And yeah, it does. That's pretty cool. That looks like a little Christmas tree. So some of these pieces that you're making are what I call flat origami. So this is a flat piece, but then some are three-dimensional, and the three-dimensional ones are the harder ones. But sometimes don't feel the harder ones are really all that hard. All right, so I'm going to take that piece of paper that I used earlier when we made that previous fold, the one that I've already done the folding with, and it's saying go from the white side, and I'm just going to reuse this because I've already started it. And you can see I've already got the same folds. Then it says flip over, go diagonal, and go diagonal. So that is a pretty basic fold to give you lots of good crease marks. Then it says we need to flip this over again, so you're on the white side, and we are going to make what's called this diamond. So basically you're going to grab all the pieces like this. You grab these pieces, you pull them in, and it creates this. And you can see right here in the picture, well, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's saying that the open part, and it kind of shows you a little three-dimensional, that here's the flaps, but it's facing down, not facing up. And that's a big deal to knowing which orientation, because you have a square, so which way does it orientate? Well, the open pieces are down. All right, so now we're going to move on to the actual crane. So from here, I fold over to here. And again, I'm following the picture. Fold it over, and then it shows me what the picture is. It says crease well and then unfold it. And then usually it's repeat the same thing on the other side. Everything is very symmetrical from what I've seen so far. Fold it over, crease, and there you go. Okay, now, oh, now it says, and look, so to clarify, to make sure I'm doing the right creasing in the right direction, now it says to fold this whole thing over, and there's nothing here. So there's not like if I had folded this section over, I might have had some pieces left, but it tells me I'm on the right track, which is kind of handy. Sometimes you get to question where you're at. You can also backtrack. I had to do that with a couple of them. I was like, where was I at? Or did I have the right orientation? Because I did what I just did. I flipped my piece around so I can kind of like, oh yeah, that's where I'm at. All right, so now that flips up. Okay, now this is going to be a different one. This one says lift up top flap along paper and make horizontal crease. Now, as you lift the paper up and fold in both sides, existing to make a petal fold. So this is different. So we're lifting up. Sometimes I kind of have to maneuver, find my creases. This is why making your creases makes everything easier. There we go. So it's showing me I'm kind of on the right track. So everything looks like it's supposed to. So now I'm here. I've kind of lifted up. It says push everything flat along the existing creases. There we go. This comes up. And then it says flip over. There we go. And it looks like we're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. So this piece gets folded over here. This piece gets folded over here. Lots of repetition in origami. That's what I realized. Straight folds, straight creases, repeat. Okay, so both of those are done. And I bet I'm going to do the exact same thing. Oh, nope, I missed a page. Don't miss pages. Okay, so now that's, and then this folds over to here. And lift up, and then I do the exact same thing we just did. So this comes up, these little guys come in. Sometimes when you're having to do these little fold marks, it feels confusing, and then you do it a couple times, you're like, oh, I get it. You know, so that's why it's almost good if you've never, ever, ever done any kind of origami, and I've done very minimal origami. I mean, the extent of my origami, truly, there was one piece I learned when I was in 4th grade. We had a student teacher, and it was her way of teaching us how to do stuff. And so she taught us a little origami thing. It was a balloon, and I think it's in here. I actually think I saw it. He called it something else. I think he called it a water balloon or something, but yeah, that's what it was. Okay, so I am here. So I've kind of skipped ahead. So here's the crease. Now I'm going to go ahead, and it says to fold along here. I think that's right. Yep. Okay. And it even shows that you've got some other creasings happening there, and that's what I can see. So here we go. And then I'm going to fold it on here. Now I'm going to flip it over, and I'm supposed to do the exact same thing on the other side. So lots of little foldings happening, and I can see that I'm kind of matching. All my little creases are following the same direction that the pictures, and that's what's so helpful, because if I didn't have like the step by step by step, I would think that I would have messed up somewhere. So it's very handy having every little tiny step on here. And then I can kind of backtrack and go, where am I at? And look at my orientation and see those little creases. Okay, so now it says to take the entire thing, wow, that's a lot, up and fold this way. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing going the other way. Lots of repeated. Okay, now we're going to we're going to do that on both sides. We're really making sure we have a good fold going both directions. So we've done it both sides. So something about an inside reverse fold. This is where I get a little confused. Oh, I think I'm supposed to go, oh, there it is. So I open up and stick this inside, and that's where this shows me right there. So that's what that is. And then I do the same thing again, flip it up. Sometimes I just have to kind of try it, and then I figured out, okay, so I'm here. Fold the end on the right down along the dotted line. I think we're almost there. So now we're just making the little head. So on the dotted line, crease this well, then unfold it. Okay, turn paper over. Now we're going to do it again. Now we're making the beaky part. Okay. And then we're doing the inside reverse fold again. So that means you kind of open it up and you stick it down. So and that's what gives a little head. And the last thing is that we have to open up the wings. And I think you just kind of open up. All right, let me not judge. Make an inside reverse fold along the existing, oh, I did that. Then fold both wings down. Okay, I thought I was supposed to open up the bird, but I don't think I'm supposed to. See, I need to follow directions, exactly what it says. And there it is. And then fold wings down, and then you can kind of pull it apart, and look at that. So cool. So truly, besides a little balloon I did in 4th grade, so there's this. The only other time I've done any origami was using this book, and I've done some pretty complicated stuff. I mean, the crane is one of those ones that you always see people making and they leave them behind. I mean, wasn't the crane in Blade Runner? I think he made little cranes and left them all over the place. So this is what he did. I think that was what he made. Pretty sure. But still, you see all these really cool origami pieces and you're like, oh, I want to learn how to make them. So the book is called Everyone Can Learn Origami. The link will be down below where you can find it. And it is really actually quite good. So if you've ever been interested in learning origami and you've never really done much before, like I said, I learned how to make the balloon, which I think, let me see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Yeah, they call it a water bomb. It's not really a water bomb. I call it a balloon because we actually blew it up and turned around. So the water bomb is considered to be a intermediate model, which is pretty cool. The crane that we just did is considered to be also an intermediate, but the star box is considered to be a challenging. I have not tried any of the difficult ones. I think that is yet to be coming. So really cool, lots of fun ones. I even got my daughter starting to help me do, I think they could do some of the easier beginner ones. My daughter had she's 5, well, just turned 6 actually. She had a little bit of a problem making that one, but they're quite fun. It's kind of soothing and just, it's cool. I like the ones that kind of stand up by themselves. They're really cool. So thanks so much for stopping by. Don't forget to check out the book and please subscribe and I'll see you guys again later. Bye-bye.